two vegans who are apparently eating this extreme diet are actually doing more for your children, Anna, than you are in terms of what you're eating.
Hi guys, we made a video recently for Anna Saccone. One of our viewers just let us know she's made a recent video on a grocery haul and mentions veganism. So we thought we'd watch it and see what she has to say.
But before I do, I wanted to make a little disclaimer because these food videos, God knows, they get a lot of controversy and a lot of like crazy comments. So just a little disclaimer, we're not vegans, nor do we ever plan on being. We're not vegetarians. There's going to be meat in this video, there's going to be dairy in this video, and if that offends you, just switch off the video right now because...
Because why?
Our life and it's our lifestyle. This is how we eat. I think we eat pretty normal, like...
Yeah, you eat normal because you eat like the majority of people, but that doesn't make it normal, that doesn't make it okay.
As Krishnamurti famously said, it's never a good idea to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society.
This whole idea of, if you don't like it, just switch off, just go to the next video. I've got a makeup hair tutorial or what I dress my kids in or whatever. Look at those nice pretty things, while over here on this side I show the consumption of dead body parts and the destruction of our environment, because that's essentially what meat, dairy and eggs are. So no, Anna, it's not just switch off if you don't like it. This is my life, this is our life, this is how we eat. We're all in this together.
We live on a planet with 7 billion people, projected to get to 9 billion people by 2050, and we are living in a global community where one's actions affect others' people.
We don't operate in isolation of each other, basically. So if you're going to put a video up showing what you eat, showing what your grocery haul is, then yes, people are going to leave comments because your food affects us all, just like our food affects us all.
And you mentioned these videos get a lot of controversy. Yes, because vegans are aware of what's going on in terms of people's health, the environmental impact, and the ethical side of eating animal foods, and they are speaking up about it. So, and they might get a little passionate because this is serious, important stuff. And so, you can't just term them crazy comments.
No.
We don't have any extreme like ways of eating. We're not on any diet. I'm starving again. I'm starving, like so hungry.
You are on a diet. You're on a calorie restricting diet, and that's why you can eat so many animal foods, because you just have a little bit. If you had them in larger quantities, you'd be obese. Veganism is not a diet. It is a way of living in this world that says, I put my hand up and I say no to violence towards animals, people, and the planet. That's not a diet.
And it's not extreme. Eating the dismembered body parts of murdered beings is extreme. And then reaping, terrible health consequences for ourselves and destroying the planet and the environment in the meantime, that's extreme.
The one thing that we try and do is buy a lot of organic stuff because I feel like it's healthier for you. We eat a lot of whole foods and...
Yeah, organic stuff's great, whole foods are great, but that doesn't cancel out the destructive, disease-forming animal foods that you are eating. So it's not a...
Organic or inorganic, all animal products still contain artery-clogging cholesterol and saturated fat, as well as animal protein that's been linked to cancer.
All right, so let's just hear exactly what she said again.
We're not vegans, nor do we ever plan on being.
We're not vegans, nor do we ever plan on being. So, in this video, we want to basically translate Anna's comment here. What does that actually mean? Let's start off with...
the health perspective.
And we've said this 1,000 times in our videos before. 14 out of the world's 15 leading causes of death are scientifically linked to eating animal foods. So there is nothing healthy about putting the body parts and secretions of animals into our bodies. It's disease forming, it's terrible.
In terms of our top killer, heart disease, it is caused by the consumption of dietary cholesterol, which is only found in animal products. And heart disease begins to form in the womb based on what the mother is eating. So we are literally setting our children up for heart disease and an early death when we feed them animal products, or when we eat animal products and, we're pregnant.
Speaking of children, Anna is a mother of 2, and apparently she's trying to fall pregnant for a 3rd child. Now, animal foods, animal agriculture is the #1 most destructive force on our planet in terms of the environment. So when Anna says we are not vegan and we never will be, what she's essentially saying is, I don't care about the world, I don't care about the planet that I am passing down to my children, to the next generation.
Animal agriculture is the leading cause of greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. It is responsible for the destruction of the rainforests, for the acidification of the oceans, causing ocean dead zones, species extinction, pollution of water and air.
I mean, we're basically at a critical point where if we don't turn this sinking ship around, we're going down. Now, by 2048, we could actually have fishless oceans. And at that point, everything just nosedives. It's a disaster.
You're talking about a total collapse of the ecosystems as we know it. I mean, the ocean produces more than 50% of the oxygen that we breathe.
So, Anna, what are your kids going to breathe? What kind of world are they going to live in? What's the quality of the soil? Are they going to be able to grow food? This is big stuff. Now, we've chosen not to have children, but if we did have children, like Anna does, we would be thinking, what's the most sustainable way that we can eat and live to make sure that the next generation, our kids and their kids and their kids, actually have a wonderful, clean, beautiful planet to live on? Would it be eating meat, dairy and eggs, which is shown to cause the most damage to our environment? Or should we be eating a plant-based diet? Because at the moment, 2 vegans who are apparently eating this extreme diet are actually doing more for your children, Anna, than you are in terms of what you're eating. You're killing the world that they're supposed to live in, and we're trying to save it.
And this is also a human rights issue. At the moment, there are 800 million people without enough food to eat because we're feeding 50% of the world's grain to livestock to fatten them so that we can eat them, and 1 billion of us can develop obesity-related diseases.
So you can see we're getting a little fired up here because, quite frankly, this apathetic attitude
Of each to their own, and I'm doing my thing and I'm not affecting anyone. That's rubbish.
It's really getting old, and we don't have time for this anymore. And let's not forget the innocent animals. 150 billion slaughtered every year for food alone. That's 2,000 a second. So much death, so much murder. The mind just cannot get an understanding of those numbers. We recently watched chickens have their throats slit for 3 days straight across the road from where we were staying. We watched a man take a knife to their throats. We watched the screaming and the pain and the terror. It was awful. Anna, you wouldn't want to watch this. You wouldn't want your kids to witness this. But that's what you're eating.
That's what you're paying for every time you buy meat, dairy and eggs. It's not food, it's violence. And we need to start thinking of food animals the same as our, family pets, like your dogs, for example. You would never allow anybody to take a knife and stab any of your dogs in the throat. You would be up in arms and you'd be outraged and you would be, going a bit crazy.
But there's no difference between your dogs and the animals that end up on your grocery haul. We got to start thinking about animals are animals, violence is violence, victims are victims. It's just not okay.
Their ability to suffer is all that matters.
So when Anna is saying we are not vegan and will never be vegan, she's saying I'm okay with all of this. All of the murder and destruction. I'm okay with animals being raped and confined and mutilated and tortured and killed. I'm okay with the destruction of the environment. I'm okay with feeding my kids disease-forming foods. I'm okay with all of it.
And we have to point out there was a lot of dairy in this grocery haul. And dairy is perhaps the most cruel animal products that you can possibly support. I mean, the female dairy cows are raped. They have their babies stolen from them as soon as they give birth.
So basically, as a mother, Anna, please make this connection. You wouldn't want your baby stolen from you, but that's exactly what you're paying for when you're buying this abundance of dairy. You have to make that connection in your heart as a mother. Dairy is the most disease-forming food on the planet. If you were to cut out one thing, it would be dairy above and beyond everything else. It is linked to the majority of diseases.
Heart disease, cancers, type 2 diabetes,
autoimmune diseases, it goes on and on and on.
Osteoporosis, irritable bowel syndrome, acne, so on and so forth.
So to give this to your kids is just, I'm sorry, it's irresponsible. It is just not okay to put into your body or your family. So stop doing it. And all of this food that you've got here, you can make plant-based. There's plant meats, there's plant dairy. I mean, you've already got almond milk, which is fantastic, but you can get vegan cheese and vegan yogurt and all the other things that you've got is in the vegan version.
Nobody needs to die so that we can live.
So guys, help us share this video with Anna. We need her to understand that when she says, we're not vegan and we never will be, this is the interpretation. This is the translation of what that statement means. And we need her to turn that around to say, we are vegan and we always will be. Because that's what the world needs, that's what your kids need, that's what the animals need. So please help us share this message with her. Her social media links are down below.
Anna, you have a family and you have 1 million subscribers that you influence. Enough of the willful ignorance. It's time to step up, educate yourself, and go vegan.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And remember, until next time, going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. See you next video.
Bye, guys.
You got a choice today. When you leave this room, you can choose to be radically kind. Never to intentionally harm another animal for breakfast, lunch, or dinner ever again. Or you can stay radically cruel. Keep the status quo as is. Make sure there's a knife in their throat every second of every day for eternity. I really hope you make the right choice.
I feel gross.
The reason you feel gross is because you're eating gross things like eggs. And where are the carbs on day one? Where's the rice?